Hello and welcome to PCTV On the Road. I'm your host today, David Cachet. I'm the Pittsfield Community Television Supervisor of Education, Government, and Technical Operations. Yes, that is one all-long title that I have. We're here today at the beautiful campus of Berkshire Community College. We're going to be talking today with some officials here at BCC about what's going on up here at BCC. Just to give you a recap, On the Road is a series of programs we do once a month. We go out in the community and shoot a series of programs from one of the great locations we have here in the city of Pittsfield. We've been to Hancock, Shaker Village, Wacona Park, the Pittsfield Common, the Berkshire Athenaeum. We've been everywhere. So it seems like this summer and this fall. But today we're at Berkshire Community College. My guest today I have joined with me right here in this beautiful new, I guess you call it a connector room, basically. We have Jonah, Sykes, and Christina Wynn. Thank you both for being here today.
Thank you for having us.
Thanks for being here.
Oh, it's been great. This place is incredible looking, first off. And how long has this facility sort of been open now, this particular space?
So we really opened it for the start of the fall semester.
Okay.
It was this particular building is actually the new construction, and it connects, which is why we call it the connector.
It makes sense.
It connects our Hawthorne classroom building to our Melville classroom building that were two previously existing buildings that were actually renovated. So this is the newest piece of that.
Now the renovation has been a project that's been many years so far, right? I mean, it's been touching every part of the campus from what I can tell, and including the parking lots now, actually, matter of fact, which will make it much nicer for students and faculty and visitors here to the campus. But I got to say, this is just incredible looking. You know, I was talking before the show, I went to school here in 1993 to 95, my freshman and sophomore year of college, and this is not my BCC. This is much, much better at looking. It seems like it's a much better educational program.
This is still your BCC.
It is still my BCC.
BCC
that's right.
is for past, present, and future students.
Without a doubt.
This is still your BCC.
I like to think it is, and I'd like to think it's a better looking version of my BCC. It's sort of like be me with a facelift or 20 pounds less or some hair if we did that. But without a doubt, I think, and it goes without saying that the education I received at BCC was incredible. And I always tell people, and I tell them that actually I went to UMass afterwards. I transferred to UMass, it was actually much more difficult to go to school here. The teachers were much more challenging than they were at UMass. It was an amazing educational experience that I had here at Berkshire Community College. But we didn't have this cool stuff.
Right. So I've only been with the college for 4 months, and I'm not an alum, but my husband is an alum of the college, and he came here in 2008, 2009. And I recently brought him back on campus to check out some of the new spaces, especially what they've done in Hoffman and then also in the Hawthorne and Melville in this space. And he was actually pretty angry. He was like, why didn't I get this? He's like, you guys, this is amazing. He's like, that's not even fair. He's like, we had to walk outside into the snow and rain to get between classes.
That's what I've been saying.
I was like, I don't understand that, but this is better now. You can come on back and take some more classes if you'd like to. We're always accepting people to come on back. So
that leads me to another point about you say it's past, present, and future college. This is a great community location for learning in that it doesn't end with your sophomore year of college before you transfer.
Absolutely.
It can keep going forever.
Absolutely.
As far as you go. You can be taking classes towards a degree, or you could just doing stuff through OLE down here at the campus, I'm correct, just taking classes.
We have workshops as well. We have opportunities for workforce development. We have opportunities just to come and be a part of the community here by going to the gym that we have and everything else. We have a lot of ways that people can stay engaged in, and they do. I mean, not only do the alums still also our staff and faculty, but some students just keep coming back, and because they're just so excited to be here. We have a lot of people coming back for workshops. I mean, it's a place where it is your community college.
Right.
And people just feel so connected to it that they're naturally going to come back. I will add, BCC is beautiful. I mean, hands down. Everyone who knows me knows that I've always wanted to work here. And finally, hashtag goals.
I heard that at the last trustees meeting when you got introduced.
I'm all set now. So it's nice to be 31 and finally get where you want to be. So now it's just I'm looking for retirement. But the key thing is that I've always wanted to work here for a number of reasons. Some of them strange and psychological. Some of them, existential. But mainly because it's so pretty out here. I mean, this is like the ideal place, and so I can only imagine if you are if you grow up through this, or you attach yourself to this later in life, or if you just recognize this is part of your community, then it makes sense you're going to stick with it and keep coming back. So.
Yeah, and I think from a community standpoint, we come back from Pittsfield Community Television. We were just talking. We come back for debates. We have debates coming up later this month. We come back for Elizabeth Warren was here. Richard Neal has been here. Special events, workshops, the forum series of BCC that was a requirement for students and stuff that just offers a wide range of stuff, and people can stop in for that. And honestly, just sitting in this room, just coming back and sitting here, on a sunny
Yeah.
day, I could easily just curl up and fall asleep over there in the sun. You know,
Like
if you
they
come up
Yeah.
here.
Like back to the
big time.
days when you were supposed to be studying.
Yes, we were talking beforehand, weren't we, about that? Like I said, when I came here, I like to think I blamed the campus for my skipping classes. It was just too cold, and like you said, you had to go outside
go
for every
outside.
class. If I could
Yeah.
have stayed in this section and all my
Absolutely.
classes were in these buildings,
Right.
And we have the gas fireplace there,
Yeah,
so
you
even
can't
when,
see it on
you know,
camera,
Yeah,
but it
yeah.
is beautiful.
If you can't see it on camera, but if you do get a chance, I do have to recommend anyone just stopping on by and coming on this facility. Don't be too much of a weirdo about it, obviously, but just come on in, call ahead.
Let us know you're here so
Let
we
us
let
know you're
security
here. You're
know.
not a student, but certainly, I think they encourage you to come up here because
Yeah.
I think once you're up here, you will certainly fall in love with this space and the campus again. Certainly if you didn't go here, this is certainly an amazing, just an amazing.
It literally
campus.
blows my mind. I
Yeah.
didn't go here,
Yeah.
and when I was a part of the community, it was mostly from my work. I worked for Berkshire United Way, so I spent a lot of time doing community activities on campus. But it wasn't the full breadth of the campus.
Yeah.
I didn't know some of these spaces even existed. 'Cause
Yeah, you mentioned Hoffman.
Hoffman is where my heart is. Like
Yeah.
I didn't know Hoffman was a thing.
Yeah.
Hoffman is my favorite space, and
Yeah.
Tom Tyne, if you're listening to me,
Yo,
like
Tom.
that is my favorite space
Yeah.
in the world. There's a giant lungfish in there. I want to get a little webcam to watch the lungfish, have live feeds of it because it's so interesting.
They actually
it's an
got me-
evolutionary brethren of ours. It's so cool.
Tom got me involved. I took a earth science class or whatever up there at Hoffman, and I'd been getting involved in a Housatonic River cleanup day my freshman year. So, third, fourth week of college, I'm down in Dalton up to my waist in lake
knows
water
what.
pulling tires out of a lake.
Right.
But I'll always remember that about BCC, getting involved in that sort of way,
Right.
which has been a great connection again, and the people you get to meet here. And since it is a community college, it's not just people your own age.
Right.
It's not just people from your town. It's the entire county coming. It was sort of the first time for me, coming from high school. I went to Wacona, and you go into BCC, and suddenly there was a 45-year-old guy sitting next to me, and there's a mother of three sitting
Right.
next to me, and then there's people like me, 18, 19 years old, and you're going, this is an incredible place to be. Just the
Yeah.
ideas that come out of those different life situations in these kind of classes are incredible. I think it's a great community asset here.
Those particular classes,
Yes.
now that you say that, what's interesting is when oftentimes we hear from the traditional age student right out of high school, I got into this class and I had these people that were not my age sitting around me. It's really weird. And what are they doing here?
Yeah.
Kind of mentality. But if you think about it, when you go get a job, you are going to be in an occupation where there is a variety of ages and different backgrounds.
Without
So
a
coming
doubt.
to a community college and being educated and having that learning environment is really going to prepare you for when you enter the workplace, and you're going to be
Yeah.
dealing with, working with different kinds of people.
Yeah.
So that's a real benefit that I think sometimes people don't recognize early on.
Yeah, without a doubt, without a doubt. Now, we mentioned earlier we were talking about some of the great community events. Now, some of them were held in the Bolin Theater.
Right.
And you talked about earlier, we just dedicated that recently.
So Bob Bolin was a beloved faculty member here on campus in our theater department. And after he had retired, we had named the theater after him, but he would not hear of us putting his name on the theater physically. He would not hear of it. So the great legend Bob Bolin passed away not too long ago. And first, on one of our kind of lists to do was to make sure that we were able to honor his legacy and the good work that he's done, and all the alums that feel so tied to the college and theater and productions and things like that. So just this past month, we actually put up a sign outside of the theater to honor Bob Bolin.
And it's quite a history, too. If you ever get a chance to come to a theater production, I know Town Players will be doing one here very soon, right? Rocky Horror Show?
Rocky Horror Picture Show will be here on October 20th that weekend, and then again the following weekend on the 26th.
Yep. And you go in the theater, if you get a chance to, when you come to the theater, there's some old programs hanging up in the lobby. You go in the back of the theater, there's old pictures, and when I say pictures of old theater productions, these are from 1970, 1972, 1968. This is what the Massachusetts First Community College, right? Berkshire
Yes,
Community
it
College.
is.
And one of the cornerstones of BCC has always been its theater program.
Absolutely.
That's right.
Without a doubt, you have a beautiful theater, one of the most acoustically sound theaters that we have ever heard. And just the sheer breadth of stuff that happens in there, not just from BCC educational programs,
Right.
but like you said, Town Players are
Yeah.
coming in, special events, lecture series, all these other musicians. I know band camp comes in here. There's
Yes,
a rock
they
and roll
do.
camp during the summertime.
Rock on.
Yeah, Rock On, which is always a great event
And
to
they
see.
are rocking on all summer long.
And I guess that points to it too, that this place doesn't just close up in the summertime.
Not at all. We have the
No.
YMCA camp on our campus. We have a number of STEAM and STEM camps. We have butterfly camps. So we've got kids on campus who are getting to know our faculty and our staff and seeing the facilities and really getting some exposure to what it's like to be on a college campus.
And I think that's important, obviously, for young students, getting them used to the idea of a college.
Right.
Because not every kid thinks about college, but just thinking that college doesn't have to be 4 hours away or a plane ride or $800,000 after 4 years. It can be an affordable place to come to get a higher education and get just as well of an education as you're going to get anywhere else.
That's right.
And so the quicker and the sooner they get sort of exposed to this kind of a place, which I think is a tremendous, again, community asset. I keep bringing that up, but it is. This place is just incredible. So we talked about theater. What else you want to talk about? What else is going on right up here at BCC right now?
I think one of the things that comes up a lot when we talk with people about a community college education is that nationally there's a conversation around student debt. And the amount of debt that burdens so many young people when they leave college, and that they go into the workforce and their goals are to have that 6-figure salary and buy a home and have a car and all those things. And the reality is that when they enter the workplace, that salary is not matching their ability to pay off their debts and for them to live the lifestyle that they'd like. And so the reality is that community college is an affordable, high-quality option that will lead to that same 4-year degree if you're looking to go in that direction. Right, exactly. Or for you to be able to work and go to school at the same time. So we try so hard as part of our jobs to let people know that this is here for them. They're going to get the best quality education that they can. In many cases, we hear from 4-year schools that our students that transfer to the UMasses and the MCLAs and the Cornells and beyond, the Brown universities, that our students walk in as juniors and are more prepared than the students that started at those schools as freshmen.
I can totally attest to that, having walked into UMass. And that's what I did. I looked at it as I wanted to get in TV, but the first 2 years of a 4-year program are mostly just your cores anyways.
Absolutely.
So I looked at it as going, well, if I go to BCC and take my English and my math and my science and all that kind of stuff and sort of quote unquote get it out of the way.
Right.
At the end of 2 years, I didn't have any debt. I had 2 years of my education done. I was able to transfer every credit to UMass.
Right.
And 2 years later, right on time, I had my bachelor's degree from UMass and had a TV job. So I think that's a very important point to talk about because it's, like I said, it was like a clean slate. I was able to transfer out and go, okay, I've got 2 years down. And a lot of times after those 2 years, I didn't do it this way, but you have an associate's degree. You have something already on paper.
That's
You can go to a job and say, I already have this. I'm working towards something else. Or at least I have this right now, and I can come back to something later on. It's an incredible program.
So what I'll add to that, though, is so I am the only person in my family who did the traditional 4-year route and then regretted it later in life.
Well, sure.
And I say that not because I didn't get an exceptional experience from my alma mater, MCLA, but because I have a large family, very large family. I have 6 siblings, my parents, everyone. They all went to BCC. And one of the things, and my husband went to BCC, and I find one of the things that they've said along the way is that the transformation of that time, if you're starting right out of high school or if you're starting to think about higher education, I can attest to this. You have no idea really what you want to do. Some people do. Some people are like me. I was like, I want to be an English major. Terrible idea. But I want to be an English major. And so, then you just do that. But some people don't go that route. So my husband, for instance, he was a business major. And he went to New York City. And he tried the 4-year route. And it wasn't really working for him. And hopefully he's not watching this because he's like me telling a story. But anyway.
Hey, Colin.
Hey, Colin. He then came here. And had it not been for an environmental studies class he took here, it changed his entire life. He then redirected everything he wanted to do and kind of found himself through community college. And I feel like that's super important because right out of high school, I feel like you really don't know what you want to do. I mean, you ask me when I'm 18-year-old, what do you want? I don't know. I want some scratch tickets. I don't want to, I have no idea what I want.
Well, if you decided earlier, the world would be full of ballerinas and firefighters, they always say.
Exactly. And there were so many astronauts, too many astronauts. So exactly. And I feel like this is an opportunity to figure those things out in a timely manner, but also in a way that's not going to, you're not going to then regret. Because I don't regret my 4-year degree. I do regret my master's degree, but I don't regret my 4-year degree whatsoever, or the debt I assumed. But I do feel strongly that had I known then what I know now, it's so
you would have gone a different direction.
I would have absolutely, no question.
Well, and you bring up a good point because we have students from Miss Hall's Horizons program come up to our facility, and I always tell people, I'm not looking to turn all of them into people who love making television.
Right.
You got an opportunity you may find you hate this. That's great. You may thought you would love it and you hated it. great. I'd rather have you find out now before you start paying some
That's
college
right.
or a business or a job you hate.
Yep.
So any kind of experience like that, like you said, it can be positive or negative.
Absolutely.
You know what? I don't like this at all.
Absolutely.
But I love this. Let me
Right.
go do that for my
Right.
life, and that's a perfect thing. I always joke, me and my wife, it's tough telling my daughter, she's a junior in high school, so she's looking into colleges now.
Yep.
But I have a hard time telling her that me and my wife both did what we always wanted to do growing up. I've always wanted to make television. My wife always wanted to be a teacher. That's what we went to school for. That's what we do.
Yeah.
I said, I'm this percentage of people who
That's
do
right.
that in my life.
Absolutely.
That's right.
Absolutely. Yeah.
That's what those years are for, your college years.
Absolutely.
You know, is to go off and find out what you want to do. Because,
Yeah.
like you said, in the vast scheme of things, it's a very small time frame
So
to figure that out.
My youngest brother, he's a student now at BCC, but he went to MCLA for 4 years in a business degree. We got his master's from another university in a business degree, and then he graduated. And then this year he's like, I don't want a business degree. So you could have figured that out. Like,
Yeah.
So now he's going back to BCC to go for his physician's assistant's degree because that's what something he wants to actually do.
Yeah.
He always wanted to do that. He
Yeah.
just felt like, I don't know what he felt, but he's like, I really wish. I was like, well, I don't know why you did that. That's like 6 years of schooling. You couldn't figure it out, but
Yeah.
anyway.
Yeah,
So
anyway.
it is always an opportunity to think like, well, okay, now you always can reinvent yourself.
Yeah.
And that's what BCC
Yeah.
allows you to do.
Yeah. So we've talked a lot about BCC so far. Again, if you're just joining us, we're PCTV on the road up here at Berkshire Community College, talking with Jonah, Sykes, and Christina Wynn up here at the college. What else is going on? We've talked about a lot of the educational programs. I know you mentioned a harvest run coming up here.
Oh yeah, I mean, if you've ever been on the campus of Berkshire Community College, you know about hills for
Yeah,
sure.
yeah. Ever since I left, my calf muscles have got deteriorated. Ever since I stopped going here.
So
Yeah. And I was here recently covering a cross-country race, so I understand.
you weren't in the race.
I was not in the race. No, thankfully, no. I definitely don't have the body of a runner over here. I have the body of like a steeplechase, the actual steeplechase you jump over if you're doing that sort of thing. I'm the obstacle in the race. But first off, it's an amazing looking campus down there. Like
Yes,
you
it
said, beauty.
is.
Oh my God,
You get the
yeah.
view, but you go down to those fields, and down to Patterson Fieldhouse area and stuff like that, and it's just an amazing thing. So you have a 5K run right around in here.
Particularly this month. I mean, the month of
Oh, yeah,
October in
the
Berkshire
foliage.
County is gorgeous.
Yeah.
But to come to Berkshire Community College and stand just outside of where we are now and look
Yeah,
down,
yeah.
I mean, as Jonah said, we're incredibly lucky to work in a place
Right.
like this.
Right.
So yeah, there's a race that starts at Patterson. It runs up the hills, and then it ends actually at Patterson. There's a cook-off. I don't remember. What you?
I see, that's my kind of race.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I forget what it is. There's some sort of cook-off.
Yeah,
There's
I just,
like a tasting.
I just approved another one of our posters, and I should have actually read more of the fine print. The poster looks great,
You
by
know
the way,
what?
but
So we know actually what it is, but
Yes.
we don't want to tell you because we want
We want you to
viewers
show up.
come up
Right.
and
Yeah.
see for themselves.
we can tell you it's October 21st, and so it's sponsored by Berkshire Healthcare Systems, and all of the proceeds of the race go back to our own nursing program here on
excellent,
campus.
excellent.
And so it's a really great way. You can go to, I'm going to say go to berkshirecc.edu/harvest run.
Yeah.
But if that doesn't work, just go on our search.
Search.
I was going to say, just go to the berkshirecc.edu. You'll
It's
find
right
it.
there, I
Yeah,
promise you.
You'll find it.
And it's a great way to, one of the things about this area is people love their running opportunities. This is one way that you can get back to a phenomenal program
Yeah.
as well. Like that, our nursing program is bar none.
Well, I was about to say, it's probably
fantastic.
outside of, I think, when I think of BCC, people think of theater and nursing.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
nursing is just such A, it's a growing field, and B, it's a fairly lucrative field if you can
Right.
get through it. And as we've seen, as I see every year, we cover the nursing and pinning ceremony and stuff like that. It's a great ceremony. And that's another program where you see people of all ages.
That's true.
Absolutely.
You see people
Absolutely.
coming just out of high school, getting a nursing degree, want to be a nurse. We get people who, like you say, have done other things,
Yeah.
a wide variety of
Yeah.
other things in their life, and realize, no, I want to help people. I
Right.
want to be a nurse.
Right.
And this is a great place to start with that. And then you can go on if you want to do other degrees and other programs, but you can be done if you want to be after your program here.
Part of the renovations was in Hawthorne and Melville, but the space was the nursing space now is phenomenal. Like the teaching opportunities that you have going in there and seeing all the different classrooms and seeing all the different opportunities you have to really learn in a really meaningful and interactive way. It blows my mind. Like
Yeah.
I learned how to write the English language. They're learning how to save lives. Like that's fantastic.
It is.
And I like to think the English language will save lives, but right now I think the nurses.
I just make
where it's
TV
at.
shows.
I know,
so,
right?
you know, yeah, I always feel like, I always joke because everyone in my family is either a policeman, a fireman, an EMT, except for me.
Yeah.
So I said, if you collapse in front of me, you pick the wrong cachet.
Right.
I can hook up your VCR, but I cannot save you at anything. You got to get another cachet for that. Now
The nursing program, though, I think that many people don't recognize that here at Berkshire Community College is actually a competitive program.
Oh, yeah, it is.
So many open enrollment campuses, community colleges, you apply and you get into
Yes.
whatever that program is if there's space available.
Yep.
Nursing, you actually have to submit transcripts, you have to do pre-work before you get into the program.
Okay.
We look at your GPA.
That's good to know.
It really is, because when you're going to be thrown into a clinical setting or you're going to be in those nursing courses that are incredibly intensive, we need to know on the outset that you are really well prepared.
Yeah.
So that's one of the reasons, I think, when you said, when I think of Berkshire Community College, I think of theater and I think of nursing. It's
Yeah.
because our nursing program has such a great reputation in the campus, and so many
Yeah.
of the nurses are actually our alums.
Yeah.
Right.
Now, the other thing I always do on my other hat at running a government channel, I cover meetings like PETA. And they have a great connection between Taconic High School, Berkshire Community College, technology programs.
Right.
Yep.
And you guys have got some serious technology up here and at Taconic that students, I think, can both use, right?
That's right.
Yeah, okay. Can you tell me a little bit any more about the technology that we have up here and things like that? Because that's just something that came to my mind, is that
Sure.
this place, especially in Berkshire County, is on the cutting edge of technology.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
And that equipment specifically was part of the college's ability working with Taconic and also the Berkshire Innovation Center to incorporate equipment that would be really high tech. So there are things like 3D printers that can do really incredible things, really complex parts that can be made right there, and other scanning kinds of devices. That it was so interesting when those machines were actually delivered to us. There were like 2 people in the entire world that were able to actually work those machines.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So we had to get them here to the Berkshires to
train
figure
the
out.
trainers,
Right.
basically.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It was
right.
like,
Yeah.
how are we going to
Yeah.
use these machines?
Yeah.
So they were that advanced and
Yeah.
that cutting edge.
It's such an amazing leg up
Right.
for people in this area.
It is. It
You know,
really
to think
is.
about that, if any kind of technology field to have that kind of thing, and for BCC to be right there in the forefront, working with the local high schools, college, workplace, you can pretty much be in a pipeline all the way through. And that's amazing community asset for people.
It's one of those things that, when you think about manufacturing, the word manufacturing, what brings to your mind is, dirty, it's going to be noisy,
Yeah, yeah.
and quite frankly, if you walk
Now
in
it's
any of the
clean rooms.
manufacturing
Yeah.
companies we have in the Berkshires, not all of them, but many of them, you're talking to people who have incredibly high skills to be
Yeah.
able to operate the machines. They're no longer putting together widgets in the same way.
No,
Right.
you got precision molding stuff.
That's
precision
exactly it.
plastics.
Clean room technology.
Clean rooms are just
Right.
incredible to think about that. So I think that's another thing, working with the new Taconic, going to be opening up
Yes.
soon, in conjunction with BCC, moving on. It's an incredible, exciting thing. We got about 3 minutes left. Is there anything else that you guys definitely want to get into this program about what's happening here up at BCC for people to know?
I really want to make sure that we impress upon folks that the BCC in the space and the roadways and what we're trying to do with the Falcons and the sports activities and everything happening. Like so I've been here for 4 months, a little over 4 months, and I'm the manager of marketing, and I've had nonstop marketing.
Oh,
There's
yeah.
so much happening
Yeah.
with
I
BCC.
was going to say you picked a good 4 months.
It's a lot.
Yeah.
It's a lot. They're like, it's the summer months. It's gonna be slow. It wasn't slow. It wasn't slow at all.
I don't know who told you
I don't know who told me that either. Honestly, like, oh, it's the summer. Calm down.
I guess they
relax.
really want you to
Yeah,
get the job.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So
It's
so
easy. Come on board.
I really want to press upon people the idea that like the space is really different, and
Yeah.
and I always look back to my mom, who she graduated from here in '78 from nursing. And she dreaded ever coming back because of how bad the roadways were. It was like
Sure.
the surface of the moon. It was
Yeah.
just like your car's going to go into a ditch and you're never going to get out of it.
Yeah.
It's not like that anymore.
No, no.
My car is doing really well. She loves driving up here now. So that's just a component of things that are changing up here in really positive, lucrative ways, and I invite people to come and experience that, because this is one example of that. This space is amazing,
Yeah.
and I think it speaks volumes about that's just part of the story. There's a whole story about how we're on the cusp of being silver certification for the LEED, which is a leadership in
Yep.
environmental something design.
Yes.
Meaning that it's silver because we've made all these spaces extremely efficient, green energy, environmentally friendly. It would be gold had it not been for the fact that we renovated them. We didn't tear them down.
We
and
didn't
rebuild
build
them.
new.
Okay.
Right.
So that's just one example of that.
Yeah.
What they've done environmentally with rain gardens and with all these different
your solar panels, on every
everything,
roof
solar
surface
panels.
and-
I mean, it's incredible,
Yeah.
and it speaks volumes about the connectivity between our programming and then our practice. And so
Yeah.
I think if you look at the environmental studies program we have, which is amazing and phenomenal, we practice what we preach. And so people don't necessarily get that narrative. I try to tell them that, but I only have so many channels. I invite people to come and experience their community college for themselves and just come and witness some of the amazing things we've done, because it's breathtaking, and it really excites
truly
me to
is.
be a part of that, and I want to share that as often as I can with other people.
It truly is, and you mentioned the sports teams and stuff. When I was going here, we didn't have that.
Right.
So again, it felt like a place you came, took your class,
And then you
walked
went.
outside
Yeah.
the room,
Right.
Froze.
took
and
another
then-
took another class, and then honestly try to get out of here as quick as possible.
Absolutely. What we have with the Falcons and the soccer team, the cross country team, and the basketball team. I mean, our basketball team is this year as well is going to be playing Williams. We're really
Excellent.
excited by that. So that's something to
Nice
keep
local
your eyes.
rivalry. I like that.
Absolutely, we're really excited. Is just to think like the community is expansive, and the campus is a really inclusive, welcoming place, and people should like come, experience it, be a part of it, and then they'll realize I'm not kidding. Like I mean it. Like
yeah. He's not just being paid
not
to
just
say
saying,
that.
I mean,
No,
I
he's
am
not.
being paid to say that, but I'm also like I would say that off the clock. So.
Yeah. Well, guys, I want to thank you guys for being here. We're pretty much wrapping it up here. I want to thank Jonah and Christina for being here talking about BCC. We could talk about this place for hours.
Yeah.
Just because of the sheer wide breadth of the stuff. If you ever want to learn more about Berkshire Community College, it's berkshirecc.edu.
Yes, it is.
And I've been on the website. It's a great website. I've seen stuff you've been doing for students at the trustees meetings with the website and all those things.
Thank you.
Incredible technology they have up here at Berkshire Community College. Again, I want to take this plug here at Pittsfield Community Television. We invite you to come down, help us out on the crew of any one of these shows, in our studio, on the road, at our sporting events. We're always looking for new members at Pittsfield Community Television, just like they're always looking for new community members to come down and be students here at Berkshire Community College. We're always looking for member volunteers. So on behalf of the entire staff and the volunteer members of Pittsfield Community Television, I want to thank you for watching On the Road. Again, I've been David Cachet, and until next time, we'll see you on the road.